Hello, my name is Lynette Clement and I am the creative director of the Love Exquisite Magazine, which you can access on loveexquisite.com. LOVEEXQUISITE.com, where we also have beautiful, affordable, paraben-free, and hypoallergenic makeup products as well. So check us out on loveexquisite.com. So welcome to July. What I am doing is I'm reading from the July 2020 issue of the Love Exquisite Magazine. In the Empowering Moments section, the word of the month for July is time. What are you doing with your time? So time is something that we often take for granted. Because we know that tomorrow is not promised, we should value time and what we do with it. Time is a gift that we take for granted too often. We take time for granted thinking that we can put off today what we'll have time to do for tomorrow or even the next day. But we should value time because we don't know when a moment will be our last. I know I have been guilty of taking time for granted, and now that I have years to look back on, I wish that I would have spent my time more wisely. You often hear people say, "If I knew then what I know now, I would have done things differently." However, now that you know, what are you going to do with the time that you have left? What are you going to do in this very moment today? Too often, we spend time thinking about the what ifs or the what was instead of doing what is in the now, in the present time. In relationships, we usually take time for granted. We often stay with someone because we feel that we've invested too much time there to let go, even if we are unhappy or we spend time waiting for the person to change, only to find out later that they didn't change, but we've changed in the process of waiting. Or unfortunately, we tend to take time for granted with the person that we're with. Meaning that we take for granted that they'll always be there, or that they'll live long enough, or the relationship will last long enough for us to put off things that we should do today, and we're thinking that we have more time, but that's not always the case. Death is one of those things that remind us of how precious our time on earth is and why we shouldn't take anything or anyone for granted. So we have to learn to live in the moments and cherish them. We also give ourselves time frames to achieve life goals. For example, like a time frame for how old we want to be when we graduate from college. When do we want to start a business? When we want to start a family? When do we want to learn how to drive? Or even when we want to get married. But instead of planning carefully for those important events, we let time pressure us into jumping into things that we're not already always prepared for. So instead of preparing for those things, we let time rush us into getting in some things that we're not really ready, we're not fully prepared for, or we're not ready for. Okay, so instead of planning carefully for these life events, we focus on the time frame versus properly preparing for them. However, even though time is of the essence, we should prepare ourselves with the time that we have so that when we have something, or that when we get to achieve a goal, we can appreciate it more. So how many times have you heard someone say, or you might have even said it yourself, I want to do this by a certain age, or I want to do that by a certain age. So we may have ideals about how we want to live our lives, but if we do not adequately prepare for those things, we are more inclined to mess things up if they happen prematurely. Readiness, I'll say that again, readiness should mean more than time. Because even if you achieve the things that you want to achieve by your allotted time frame, if you are not ready, you could risk losing what you did not adequately prepare for. What do you do with your time? What you do with your time is valuable. It is important. So while you have the time, prepare now for what you want tomorrow. So do the necessary actions today to be ready to get to where you want to be. You have to be ready to transition into what you say you truly want and what you want out of life and what you want to do with your life and your time. What I am saying is, do what you need to do with your time today. Prepare for what you want tomorrow. Basically, do not waste your time in any area of your life. Time means absolutely nothing when you spend most of your time being unhappy and unfulfilled. We have to focus on what matters to us, not what matters to others. So don't let other people's time frames get you off the mark of what you need to adequately prepare for. Yes, time is important, but if you continue using your time being unhappy, you are wasting your time. How much time will you have left to do what makes you happy? This also applies to staying too long again in unhealthy relationships, where you can pick up your mate's unhealthy personality traits if you stay too long in an unhealthy relationship, and you can carry them into your next relationship, which is not a good thing to do. It is not okay to dump someone else's trash onto a person who didn't do anything to be treated that badly. So don't let someone else pay for the crime that someone else committed. Prepare today to be ready for your next. Value what you do with your time. Cherish time because it is so precious and you never know how much time you have left on this earth. So everybody doesn't deserve your time. So make sure that you take inventory of how you spend it so that you don't waste it. Your time doesn't matter to other people as much as it should matter to you. So don't spend too much time helping others achieve their goals while you let your goals and dreams sit on the back burner because you're trying to help other people. Now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with wanting to help people. But when it's of a sacrifice of self-sacrificing what you want to do because you're helping someone else, then the water becomes a little muddy. So you want to make sure, because you don't know how much time you have left on this earth, you want to make sure that you are able to do what it is that you want to do. You're able to accomplish your goals, and then you can help other people accomplish theirs. So we have a right to choose what we want to do with our time and who we spend our time with. You have a right to make the decision for you and your well-being. You can't worry about what anyone else has to say about what you do with your time. It's your time. It is your time. Keyword, your. It is your time. So just know that time is one thing in life that we do not get back. We can get back money. We can get back people. If we lose friendships, and we can regain those friendships again. But time, we do not get back. So that's why we should value it while we're here on earth. You are the only person who can live your life. So don't let other people tell you what you should or should not be doing with your time. Do what you want to do with your valuable time, because time waits for no one. When you think about how you spend your time, ask yourself, what are you doing with the time that you have now that is helping you to work towards achieving your goals? Prepare now so that you can achieve your goals, and you can thoroughly appreciate them once you achieve them. So work towards your goals without fear and without limits. The way we think can impact what we do with our time. So if we think that we have more time, we tend to procrastinate. When we overthink, we tend to do nothing with our time because we're so busy thinking about the obstacles. So live now like tomorrow doesn't exist. I learned this life lesson the hard way, thinking about all the people in my life that I've helped along the way, and with self-sacrificing and not achieving my goals until later on in life. Once I realized how valuable my time was. Your time is just as precious as everybody else. And if nobody else sees that, you have to see that. Your time is just as valuable as anybody else. And again, nobody's going to value your time like you value your time. So make sure that you value your time and what you do with it and with whom you spend time with. So think about all the people in your life who have died without doing what he or she wanted to do in life. Don't waste your time thinking about what you need to do. Take action, because too much thinking usually causes us to overthink versus to do what is necessary today. Do something purposeful and meaningful with your time today. Don't put it off until tomorrow, because tomorrow is not promised. So remember that your time is valuable, and what you do with your time means a lot. So time is something that you do not get back. So you have to do today what you are putting off for tomorrow. So even if it is being prepared, even if it is doing the research and being prepared for your next, whatever your next is, adequately prepare now for what you want in life tomorrow. If you do not adequately prepare, when you get such a thing, you will mess it up. So value your time, prepare, and enjoy the moments, every moment as if it is your last, because you never know what tomorrow might bring. God bless you. God keep you is my prayer. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you take these words that I say at each month to you to heart, because it comes from my heart to your ears. And hopefully to your action, because that's the whole purpose of me providing you with this information, this knowledge base that I've gained over the years to share with you for free in the Love Exquisite Magazine. Again, my name is Lynette Clement, and you can access the magazine on loveexquisite.com. Thank you for listening.